Hello, chismosas y chismosos, and welcome back to Bay Area Housewife of True Crime, where I like to tell the stories of the real cucuys and lloronas of the world. We are at part 2 of the Marta Moreno case. As a reminder, topics may be triggering. Viewer and listener discretion is very strongly advised. Detective Jesse Tovar testified that upon arresting Gilberto after finding his pregnant girlfriend dead in their shared home, it was apparent he was under the influence of a controlled substance. Gilberto had a spaced out look to him and his pupils were dilated. However, a blood test and toxicology report issued by the State Department of Justice indicated that there were no drugs or alcohol in his system on the night of his arrest. No drugs or alcohol were needed for this real-life cucuy to do what he did. She was 26 weeks pregnant when he stabbed her in the stomach 3 times and strangled her to death in their shared home near the Modesto airport. Yet, as he was being arrested, Gilberto told Officer Tovar, quote, "Jess, I don't know what reality is. I'm scared," end quote. In front of Judge Hurl Johnson, the defense argued that mental illness and Prozac, the antidepressant medication, caused Gilberto to become violent. He was defended by Kirk McAllister in court, and he said, "This was the onset of a mental illness which had a tragic ending," end quote. During most of the court proceedings, Gilberto looked into his lap, said nothing, and showed no emotion. In September of 2005, Stanislaus County Superior Court Judge Hurl Johnson sentenced Gilberto Cano to 17 years to life in prison as part of a plea deal that was negotiated by the DA and his defense attorneys for second-degree murder. The judge also ordered him to pay restitution to cover the costs of Marta's funeral and counseling for her daughter, mom, and one of her sisters. A September 17, 2005 article by the Modesto Bee has the DA saying, quote, "I know this is a little consolation to the Moreno family, but keep in mind that the special treatment for Scott Peterson includes a cell by himself for this protection from other inmates, and he will spend years fighting with appeals before he is executed. With any luck, Cano will be put into the prison's general population, then perhaps justice will finally be served," end quote. At the sentencing hearing, the judge said, quote, "It's not a perfect system, and there's no way in the world that the court can ever resolve what happened. Marta should be here right now, and she's not," end quote. At the sentencing, Marta's sister, Guadalupe Banderas, choked on tears while she said, quote, "A criminal who has taken 2 lives should have no natural right to his own life," end quote. Guadalupe said her sister was a caring and gentle person who will never have the opportunity to see her 10-year-old daughter now graduate from high school, college, or get married. In many cases, the criminal's family stick by their side. In this case, his sister, Catherine Moreno, addressed him in court and said, quote, "You say you're crazy, you're delusional, you're upset by your mother's death. Why didn't you just kill yourself?" End quote. According to a May 2003 article by the Modesto Bee, Robert Fernandez, Marta's ex and father of their first daughter, said, quote, "Her life can't be replaced. No matter what the outcome, no matter if he gets death or not, he's not going to bring her back. My daughter is without a mother," end quote. Adeline Rodriguez, Marta's mom, became a domestic violence advocate. Every year on what would have been Marta's birthday, her daughter, who was 11 years old when she was brutally murdered, bakes a cake and buys a doll for her little sister they had planned to name Angelina. Adeline was not satisfied by the legal system since prosecutors negotiated a second-degree murder plea with 33-year-old Gilberto Cano, who was sent to prison for 17 years to life. Marta was only 29 years old when she died on April 20th of 2002. Adeline believed that Gilberto deserved the death penalty, like Scott Peterson, and I could not agree more. Gilberto Cano was eligible for parole in 2002. In December of 2025, 52-year-old Gilberto was denied parole. Deputy District Attorney Matthew Jacob argued against his release based on, quote, ongoing public safety concerns, substance abuse while incarcerated, refusal of mental health treatment, and a forensic psychologist finding that Cano remains a risk for future violent behavior. Victims' family members submitted statements and attended the hearing, urging the board to deny parole as they continue to endure lasting grief and trauma. The parole board agreed that Cano posed a continued risk to public safety and denied parole for 5 years, end quote. Gilberto Cano remains at the California's Soledad Correctional Facility where he belongs. We've reached the end of today's episode of Bay Area Housewife of True Crime. Thank you so much for coming down the rabbit hole where I currently live. Stay tuned for the next episode on the next case. Make sure to follow me on socials. Make sure to find my podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcast. If you like my content, do me a solid like, follow, and give me a good review if you so wish. As always, I respect and accept your opinions. I welcome all comments, questions, case suggestions, etc. Call me, beat me at yayareahousewife@gmail.com. And yes, that's yay area with the Y, like E40 said. I'll see you chismosas y chismosos in the next. Adios.